Afternoon, everybody. So we start our, series of discussions on the role of Indian diaspora in Ukraine today within the framework of the project of the East European Development Institute, which is called Ukraine and South Asia Open Dialogues. As you know, we have been having a lot of these activities since January. We started with students. And can you see the screen now, where I show a short presentation? This series of activities we have started jointly with India Club, which is the club uniting diaspora here. And I'm very happy that we have the best people from there today. And we have International Renaissance Foundation, which is supporting the project. And it is implemented by the East European Development Institute, which I belong to, and I head this institution. So my first thought was that, how should we go about it? I think the best idea would be to talk about, if we say that we had the relationship with Mahatma Gandhi. And so what we have is this saying of Mahatma Gandhi is, be the change that you want to see in the world. This is the best saying that I think is very important for all members of the diaspora, because when we go, we want to change something. Even if we remain in the country, wherever we are, we need to see change in life, and we try to become the change that we want to see in the world. I think that is really relevant for all people. I would like to say our focus is Ukraine. And as you know, South Asia is home to almost a quarter of the world's population. And we have a mission, that is the project's mission, is to foster people-to-people connections, of all ages, regions, and occupations, and of course, all sectors. How do we do it? We do it through online discussion platforms. We do it through different surveys, focus groups. We do a lot of storytelling, and today perhaps it will be one of those sessions. And this is regular communication. Also, we are now preparing analytical briefs and policy papers, one on students, and another one we will start with the diaspora. So now what do we want to focus on, and what stories do we want to tell? That is people's lives, experiences, successes, and all kinds of things like achievements, even concerns, some kind of, doubts, or, some kind of dangers approaching. Also, we sometimes say in the society around us, and of course, our ideas. We bring ideas and we get ideas. So there is a very interesting exchange of ideas that everyone, members of the diaspora can bring into their host country and also to their mother country. I would like to say the word diaspora. Now, forgive me for making this etymology, but one should be very clear of what we are aiming at. Dia and sperian are the two root words which constitute the word diaspora. It's coming from the word Greek, which means that across, to sow or scatter seeds. So these individuals are like seeds. They are sown all across the world. And it was used to determine the Jewish settlements beyond the land of Palestine in the olden days. So that's how the word came from, and that's how it is used. So in our connotation, we will use the word in the sense that the permanent residents of a country, the permanent residents who are maybe holders of their host country passports, or the origin country passports. It doesn't matter. They may have like the, permanent residents. And of course, they should be tied and having roots in that soil with professional, with, family, with other attachments. Not necessarily you need to have family, but it is that, one of the attachment is family, another is professional, and the other is that, you're starting something, big project, investment, etc., etc. I was asked, was Gandhi a diaspora? Yes, he was, because he went to South Africa, he started his profession, but then he finally came back. So members of the diaspora can always go back to their mother country, country of origin, and also change the lives of people there. So there is a two-way process. Now, India has the world's biggest diaspora. I'm comparing these, I want you to compare, look at these two different tables. Is 2000 and in 20 years, how the situation has changed. So we have now 17.9. Of course, it's a very humble estimate, official estimate. It doesn't include many of them. Migration is a phenomenon. Within 4 years, it might change. So I don't have the latest. What I have from the UN DESA statistics is this one. So you can see India is the largest. So it's in millions. Now, where are we spread? It is a gross figure again in different parts of the world where Indians are. In the US, it has 3.2, but the largest number of Indians are in the Middle East at 6.0. And the lowest ones are in Australia, Fiji, and New Zealand, that is 0.8, that's 800 million. So 0.8 million, sorry. So this is the situation. Now, let me now talk about countries. If we talked about regions, now about countries, it's the again, it's the Saudi Arabia, Malaysia, United Arab Emirates. Can you look at the figure? Because it is a small country, but it has so much of Indians. United States is another big one. Then we have Canada, Myanmar, and of course, United States, United Kingdom. And if you take, these are the English-speaking countries, which makes it easier for people to go. But look at this gray area, this 12 million, it is, it's a big number, and we have it spread across all other countries. So somewhere here we are in this 12 million. Now, let me talk to you about also the incomes. If in these regional spread, most of these regions, they have highly educated people moving out, except the Gulf region, where we have also unskilled labor going. So it depends on which region accepts, or, there are quotas of immigration where what category of Indians are going there. But in general, if you look at the United States, among ethnic groups, Indian Americans are the wealthiest. You can see this graph, this hasn't changed. And the 2022, even 2020 estimates, this is one of the community survey of the Census Bureau. So this also shows that percentage of population with a bachelor's degree. Now you can see the educational level is also the highest. So with this background, I would like to jump into Ukraine. We have a small but very active diaspora, which is what I think a qualitative estimate should be made, not a quantitative. Like we have permanent residents, I don't have the estimates, but it may be from a few hundred to 1,000 or more, maybe even more. But now, at least during the wartime, we do not have estimates. And temporary residents are there working as professionals, but we do not have final estimates. So as the project moves, I will be able to provide the migration service or other people to get more statistics. Now, the students, is very important to know that 19,200 was the real estimate as of January 2022. Many of them have returned and they are continuing their studies. And as you all know that this is something that is also very, very important, because the student focus was more in the context of the war. And since we are less in number, our talking about us is not really the thing. Now let me go on to introduce you to our distinguished speakers today. This is Dr. Alok Bansal. He's a great man, I would say. He's a presidential award-winning orthopedic surgeon. He's the president also of the India Club, which we are the partners in hosting this program. And look at the quote he gave me yesterday. It's helping people is my job. I just straight away put it from there. What he said to me is that is my motive and that is my religion. He's a medical doctor. He came to study here and he had his family. By the way, he studied in the city of Kyiv, which is now getting destroyed and it's bombed terribly. I would also tell you that he has a great reputation among Ukrainians. And I knew about him, not from him, but from Ukrainians, which is a very big thing to be proud of. I think Dr. Alok will be able to tell you more about himself, his life story. Now we have also Ram Dange, who's a great friend of ours and everybody knows him. He is the founder and CEO of two companies, Gala Foods and Indrayani Overseas. He's in agri business. He's dealing in food and agricultural products. And he believes that the best thing we can do for the world is to be joyful. Isn't that great? And he also came to study here, late 80s, sorry, and then he stayed. And both he and Dr. Alok have not left Ukraine. They are always here with the Ukrainians. Now, someone we have who is doing something very unique. He is that Indian who is applying some balm on the wounds of Ukraine, which is suffering from the war. This is something he said to an interview to the agency Reuters. And his company is making prosthetics, which is what he's giving life to those people who are losing their limbs, especially irrespective of military or non-military, men or women, or adults or children. So we have the founder and CEO of Parashar Industries, Mr. Nagender Parashar. We will listen to him. And finally, we have Kuldeep Kumar. Everybody knows him because he's the founder, CEO of New Bombay Palace and also of other projects. Now, what he said to me was that, what do you believe in, really? When I asked him, he said, never leave the country of your stay when it is in danger. Be around and help people as much as you can and teach your children to do the same. I would now, stop here and go to all of you and ask Dr. Alok to briefly introduce yourself and tell us your story, some funny incident, some good incident, some sad, something that you would like to share, like on a fireside chat, let's say. So please.
Hi, Mridula ji, thanks a lot for the nice program which you have started. And thank you for the selecting me and my colleagues and my good friends from Indian diaspora. All Indians who are living in Ukraine, they are helping Ukraine and they are doing a good job, great job to help people during, during tough time, during difficulties, helping in different ways. So my name is Dr. Alok Bansal. I came to Ukraine in 1989 when it was Soviet Union. So I came to USSR. And I've seen all the changes in this country starting from 1989 when it was Soviet Union. Gorbachev was the president. And then in 1991, it was break in parts. It became CIS countries. I've seen that revolution also. And after that, we go to Orange Revolution, one of the biggest revolution in Europe, which happened in, if I am not wrong, 2002, 2003. Then goes war, when our enemies, Putin, they captured our beautiful Crimea and some part of Lugansk and Donetsk. It happened in 2014. So the war was started in 2014, actually. This was the actually war. But we people living in Kyiv, we are living more safely, so we were not suffering with that. But now, when it came to Kyiv, now we know what is actual war, actually. So during these difficult times, all the brave Indians who didn't leave the country, they are here. Something happened? Hello? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes.
I can hear you. Somebody switched on the whiteboard anyway. It's okay.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Carry on.
I'm sorry. Yeah. So I'll come back about my life story in short. So I came to 1989. I've done my 1-year language course, and it was really interesting when I came to Ukraine. I didn't know a single word of this language, Russian language that time, and of course, zero in Ukrainian. After a year course, which was fantastic course, which I've done in Kharkiv, Karazin University, the one of the most famous university in USSR, now you can see in Ukraine. So I was very proud that in 1 year time, the education system in Ukraine was so fantastic, and I was able to grasp the language And when I was in first year of medical university, I was able to write all my lectures. I was able to help local people, and people were asking for my lectures. So that was, Mridulaji, that was great time when you can, after just a 9 months courses, you are grasping all the lectures, you are writing lectures, you are, you are writing lectures, and you are sharing your lectures with local, just with Ukrainians. And in first year, when we started our medical school anatomy classes, I was very much interested in anatomy and all this in topography. So in first year, it was courses of anatomy, and you're supposed to work with dead bodies and all to study all organs. I was the most favorite student of Ismailova. She was my professor, and I was a favorite student because I was used to study in the evening all the anatomy, and then next morning I was the in charge of the body, and I was supposed to do all these dissections, and to teach my colleagues from Ukraine, from India. It was a group of 15 people. So it was, we had very good, nice moment. That was in 1990. So from 1990 till 1996, I have done my medical school from Kharkov Medical University. And in first year, I met my future wife, Dr. Ala. Her surname is Bansal. She is also a doctor. She's a gynecologist. She is also working in Kyiv in different clinics. She's also helping people. She's working more in gynecological problems, infertility, which is a big problem nowadays in ladies. And she's helping people. What money can give you happiness? I don't know. But when your patient is not getting a baby and your doctor is helping you and she is getting pregnant and you are getting a baby. So this feeling of happiness, I like more. As a doctor, for me, we all need money to survive. But happiness comes not from money. It comes from such small moments. You are helping people, you are helping patients, they are blessing you. And all these blessings are working every day, Mridulaji. So when I met my wife, we start loving each other from the first year. It was in 1990. So you now can calculate. Today is 2024. So we are 34 years together now and living happily. We have got 3 kids. My elder one already is in Canada. He left the country in 2014 for the higher education. He is already settled now. He is working for an international company. Second is daughter. She is studying in a top university of Ukraine. We decided to stay a daughter in Ukraine. She is studying in Tarasa Shevchenko University in Kyiv. So we know all Kyiv International University, which is the best in Ukraine, and all the politicians, best diplomats, they are coming out from that university. So daughter is studying here. We are living happily with our daughter also. And the junior one, he is Aryan. He is in 7th standard. He is studying in school right now. Let's say, so which is one of the best. They are the strongest in Ukraine. So we study in local schools. We study in local universities. We believe in the system of Ukraine. We believe in the education of Ukraine. You can travel to different countries, but the education system and the medical system, which is there in Ukraine, this is one of the best. When you live in Ukraine, you feel that Europe is better. But when you go and stay there for some time, and when you start facing problems in Europe, facing problems in medicine, facing problems in studies, in education, then you compare that Ukraine is always better. So that's why a lot of Indians who live in Ukraine right now, they are here. Because we are the patriots. There is nothing to prove for us that we are the patriots. We love this country. We love this country. We got everything in this country. Education. For that, we came to Ukraine. Then families, kids, and of course, all the wealth what we have today. It's all thanks to Ukraine. So when the war started, and it was a horrible time. You don't know what to do exactly. What is the solution for that? Where is the end? Where is the light in the end of the tunnel? So everybody was looking for some magic, but it didn't work. It didn't work. We were still facing with the war. So we have decided, Mridula ji, that time as a doctor, I've got a lot of international degrees, qualifications. So I'll just tell you in short that I've done my medical school, then I've done my master's. I'm master of surgery. Then I've done my PhD. I've done my PhD in one of the best topics, hip replacements, complications of replacement. So I do in Ukraine one of the most difficult cases. I'll tell you, maybe 5, 7 surgeons are doing such surgeries, maybe 10, but I accept any challenge in Ukraine in orthopedics. If nobody will do the surgery, I will take it and I will do it. That's my lifestyle. I love challenges. I love tough cases. I love tough problems. I love tough times. I always say that I'm a fighter. I always a fighter. I love to fight always. Just you have to study all the time to improve yourself. So I have traveled for my education more than 40 countries, including China, India, all Europe, Canada, America, everywhere. Switzerland, UK, you see Germany, everywhere I've been more than 40 times. And every time you get some tips and tricks. When you are already a good surgeon, when you do a lot of surgeries, that's good. You are already a master in some field. But still, when you do reach and approaches to different clinics, when you find a good professor, a good surgeon, experienced surgeon, you can take a small trick, and it will help you to improve the quality of operation, to improve the health of our patients. And these small tips and tricks working every day. When you are in operation theater, before going to surgery, I always plan my operation. Always. There is a good saying which I've heard in my life from an American scientist: plan your operation and operate your plan. So when I heard it, I go deeply in these words. I got it. I got the depth of these words. So every time I go for any operation, I plan my operation. I should know if something will happen wrong, how should I come out from this situation? You have got a plan, it's not working, you should have plan B, plan C, plan X, Y, Z. So when you are well planned, you have got all instrumentations, all techniques, all exits, you will never fail. So thanks to that American scientist, and I grasped this word. This is my principle of operations. This is principle of life. Plan your life, plan your operations, and operate your plans. After that, there is one more good saying. Coming out of operation theater, you should think about, are you happy with your surgery? Or you can do something better. So you should go and realize what you have done, all the steps. If you are absolutely happy, then it's fine. But if you are still thinking, yeah, I could do better, so go and plan next time how could you do better surgery. So these are two philosophies: plan your operation and operate your plan. Coming out from operation theater, analyze your operation and relook it. So some philosophies are there. So all these things are helping me, and I'm trying to improve my skills. I'm trying to help people in a better way. My main motive is to help people to their surgeries, maximum giving good results. I love to do surgeries in all patients. I never say no to any patient. It does not matter what age. It's 80, 85, 90, 100. I've done surgeries at the age of 100 too. I've done my hip replacement at the age of 100 too. That was my, I think, oldest patient. And there was a patient Small story. Patient age was 107. She got fractured and she got admitted in my clinic on Friday. And in government clinic, there are some difficulties. You cannot do operations every day, unfortunately. So my operation day was Tuesday, and she was absolutely fine on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. She was absolutely fine. I gave her the rehabilitologist. She was working with her. And just can you imagine, before my surgery, she was having, problems with the health, some diarrhea. She was unconscious and she was, already not in the condition to go for the surgery. So I refused for that surgery. And, till now, I think about it, I was able to help that lady if I was able to make that operation on Friday and not on Tuesday. So now I always think about it. I should do anything how to fight because these 3 days, 4 days are very important for a life.
Yeah.
For a life. If you are not doing surgery, patient will die in any case. That's 100% sure. I'll tell you, in local people
Tell about your
sometimes.
work with the wartime like this, with the army, with all these average, how many operations are you doing? Do you have an estimate of that?
Yeah, I'll go in detail now for war
Just
cases, war trauma.
little bit in short summary so that people can ask you questions also. Yeah, okay.
Okay,
yeah.
Thank you very much. Yeah, when I came to Kyiv in May, a lot of patients with war trauma were admitted in my department. And I'll tell you, war trauma is totally a different field. It's totally a new field for any doctor, except army hospitals. Even army hospitals, they were not having so much good experience earlier. Now Ukraine is having the best experience in war trauma in the world. In the world. Better than America, better than Israel and Germany and all. So when I came to the clinic, I was watching all these patients, I feel guilty that I'm not so good in war trauma. I decided to go for the courses. So I've done courses, EU courses from Switzerland for war trauma. I've gone through for 2 courses. And after that, I was confident that now I can help in a better way. So during this war, my hospital was not one of the main hospital for war trauma, madam. So we are having on average 12 patients every day from war trauma. So we are treating them every day, 5, 6, 7 surgeries in operation theaters every day. What do you mean by surgery? Every day debridement, you have to clean the wound, you have to remove the dead bodies. Understand it. That tissues. So every day, 5, 6, 7 surgeries of war trauma, ma'am.
And then on an average per year, how many are you doing? And so you can just leave the people to ask you questions, because if you tell everything, they will not have anything to ask you. Yes.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
So on average, I do around 450 operations every year.
Okay.
In different cases, different departments, hip replacements, knee replacements, fractures, war trauma, arthroscopies in different departments. Yeah.
Okay.
It's quite broad.
Okay, so maybe we leave for the questions and then I can move on to the next speaker, if that is okay with you. Yeah, okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can I ask our friend Mr. Ram Dange to take up the floor and tell about his life in a few like some 7, 8 minutes, and then we leave other things for the question. Yeah, okay, please.
Yeah, I thanks to East European Development Institute, International Renaissance Foundation, and India Club, and thank you, Mridula ji, for having me here. It is an honor for me. And the same like Dr. Sahib came to Ukraine in 1989, I came to USSR in 1989, and in 1992 to Kyiv, completed Civil Aviation Institute of that time. Now it is National Civil Aviation University. And while doing my studies, I became a part-time translator for delegations coming from India in order to reinstate our destroyed trade ties between India and Ukraine, because earlier it was USSR, and USSR was taking care centralized manner of trade, whereas Ukraine had to find its own ways after 1991. So I found it very interesting, and I first became the representative of so many Indian entrepreneurs, Indian companies. Slowly, I became the follower and representative of their products in Ukraine. And then in 1998, I established my own company, and Indrayani Overseas is my first company formed here. And this company is of already 25 years. We celebrated 25 years last year. And in 2014, I also established another company, Gala Foods, named after my wife, Galina. And my wife is Ukrainian. We married in 1998, and I have two daughters, and we are living in Ukraine for all these years. As far as business is concerned, during these 25 years or more than of my business career, I have seen lots of ups and downs. I have gone through a lot of challenges, but it has been so interesting that I thank to the destiny that I have got this opportunity to live my life these years in Ukraine and do unrealistic things realistic, and it's quite challenging and enthusiastic. Now, both of my companies together, they have a huge turnover of more than $20 million per year. And what we do is that we are importer of rice from more than 13 countries of the world. We import, we do wholesaling of rice and Ukrainian pulses, cereals as well. We do retailing, packing, and exports of packed cereals, pulses from Ukraine, as well as we sell it in Ukrainian market. We have other businesses in Indrayani as well. So this growth of business has taken place during these 25 years. And I would like to share my small aspiration and thought. It is, and I tell it to everybody, that Ukraine has given me everything: education, beautiful wife, my daughters are born here, I have business here, whatever the wealth we have achieved is here, and lots of love, respect from Ukrainians. So when the war started, so there was no question of leaving Ukraine for me. One of my daughter was studying there in Europe, and another daughter was we sent to Switzerland. So the younger daughter, after 6 months, cried and came back to Ukraine. And I'm very proud to say, to inform that my elder daughter, during the time of war, completed her higher education in Belgium, and said that I will be working in Ukraine, no matter there is a war, but I will be helping you in the business, and will do business in Ukraine, will not go for any job in Europe. So this is in short my life story. I have kept helping lots of voluntary organizations with whatever I can, same as so many other colleagues and friends of Indian diaspora. And I have the aspiration to create international level company in future. I want to keep healthy and be wealthy, but I have one more aspiration, is to help Ukrainians, keep on helping them till the time it needed in all of my future that is going to come. Thank you, Mridula.
Thank you so much. And I would also like to say that Mr. Ram Dange was one of those who came forward and helped to people when Kherson was occupied, and there was a clergy, there was a priest who asked for help, and I appealed to Mr. Ram Dange. I was in Lviv that time, and he generously helped, found out a way how to reach Kherson because it was occupied, but nevertheless, the truckload of food and vegetables were sent for this church was feeding 500 to 600 people per day. So I was really, from that moment, they are really grateful to you. And I know you are also associated with a lot of other activities. Thank you so much. So can we move on to the legend, who is Nagender Parashar, who is doing a lot, especially during the times of war. Nagendra ji, are you here? So please join us, and we want to hear your story, please.
Hello, good afternoon to everyone there in Kyiv. Right now I'm in India, in Delhi, since I have a prosthetic factory here too. And due to those power outages in Kyiv, we have to provide the guys, the amputees, soldiers, young soldiers, boys and girls with prostheses. Now, to start with, I came to Ukraine, Kyiv in 1991. Since then, there have been a lot of ups and downs in life because that was a totally different country, different culture. And I got married in 1994. I have 4 children. And you're doing a lot of different things and trying to find myself. It was a hard journey. It's not easy to, not always easy for everyone to find oneself in the field that suits the most. So, cutting long story short, I started working in the field of prosthesis since 2008. Before that, there were a lot of things happening. I was even sports director in the Ukrainian Speed Skating Federation, and looking after the communication with international skating unions and all the communication with them. So 2008, I started prosthesis. I started importing some, components from China through Hong Kong, and then the quality was not very good. So I was ashamed of the quality, and then the government factory who was buying from me, they said, look, what has arrived? I said, okay. And I changed the supplier, and I said, this time it will be perfect. It was worse. The next time it was worse. That was a lot of shame, right? About the quality. And then I decided, okay, I'll make it myself. So I started from scratch, from zero. And I think it was in 2011. 11, I started it bit by bit, step by step, and I knew nothing. But it doesn't matter. What matters is what one wants to know, wants to master. So that was a very exciting journey in the field of prosthetics. I even started a small factory in China, and I bought 2 machines. I made a very small manufacturing unit in China, but that there was a time difference and I couldn't control anything. So in 2014 January, I brought those machines in Ukraine. And then the journey began. It's 10 years now. And one remembers that all those things were happening in 2014, in January and February. It started in November 2013, when the children were beaten by the Yanukovych regime, and everyone was outraged. But no one knew that a neighboring country who was very close to Ukraine, no one believed that these things would start. And then the first amputees in 2014 start coming. I had my first prosthetic center by then in Kyiv. So we started providing providing them with prostheses, and I had couple of components.
Mute your microphone. Yeah, I'm telling
I had a
others.
couple of yeah, couple of components we manufactured. Then so I myself went into the field of designing these components, and the very special components are knee joints. When we talk about prostheses, the hardest prosthesis is above knee prosthesis for amputees, because Dr. Alok, he does operations and he replaces knee joints. Those are endo prostheses, and we are talking about exo for people with amputations. So then step by step, we started manufacturing, testing, designing, testing, manufacturing the knee joints in my factory, and machine by machine, I bought more machines, CNC machines, and I was dreaming of buying CNC machines from US. So that dream came true. I was still living in a rented apartment, but I was buying machines. So I mean, I had a very big passion about that. It doesn't matter how you live. It's a matter about the dreams that you have.
Yes.
All right. So things started happening. People started noticing, and then in the government sector, some government factories closed, and those the government prosthetic centers, they were very big prosthetic centers, and they were closing due to bankruptcy, due to different types of approaches. And the people working there, they said that we might go to Poland and work there. If you would like to open a prosthetic center in Lviv, I got a first call from Lviv. We would be very happy to work with you. I said yes. And that was a difficult time because Ukraine was already into war. It was 2000, I think 18. It was 2017 or it was 2018. Lot of hardships. So we opened a center. There was a center in Kyiv, and the second center was in Lviv. And now we have 10 centers. So because a prosthetist is something that Dr. Alok knows very well, cannot be taught in a day. It takes months and years in mastering whatever they do, because they also have to be a sculptor, and sculptor understand a lot of intricacies, because all patients are different, their stumps are different, and their needs are different, their walking mobilities are different. So now we have 10 centers. We have a factory in Kyiv. We have mastered. Can I show a video now? Right?
Yeah,
Can
sure.
I show a video now?
Yeah.
I'll show a video. But before that, we were contacted by the Japanese company, who are funded by the government, Ministry of Economy of Japan, and we are working in a project with Japan, because a big difficulty was in providing a lot of prostheses to a lot of men, because in Ukraine, the number of prosthetists matched the number of amputees which used to come each year. But with the onset of war, there are a lot of guys who are in need of getting those prostheses, and the world cannot create so many prosthetists very fast, because the prosthetists from other countries will also not come to Ukraine. They have their own clients who are there working with.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So there's continuity, and there's a problem of language, because if they come, and how would they talk to the patients, to the amputees? So that's one more thing. And then they cannot come for a week and go back, because The process of fabricating a processes can go from weeks to months, because the stump size of a new amputee keeps on changing all the time. So these were the challenges that these are still are challenges that we are
Coping.
coping with.
Okay.
So the Japanese, they have a new technology of making these sockets which are done on the stumps, and then we might be able to provide a lot of processes very fast to other people. So I'll switch on to my screen.
Yeah.
Okay, how do we do that?
You can share you can go to the share screen and show the video, and then go to the video and switch it on. Yeah.
Share. Okay, now am I sharing the screen?
Yeah, you are.
Okay.
Do you have a presentation open?
Yeah, I have. I show you something. So this is in February. I was in Japan. We signed an agreement in the presence of the Prime Minister of Ukraine and Japan. Right. And here we were in the exhibition in Germany, Leipzig, in May. So we are presenting the knee joints made.
Okay.
So right now, this knee joint Falcon is a K4 knee joint. That's one of the highest mobility knee joints in the world. I think there are 3 or 4 such knee joints, and due to the things that are made inside this knee joint, I think that it's one of the best, if not the best. So we are starting manufacturing this in Kyiv, and I have a factory in India. So we will provide whatever we cannot manufacture in Kyiv from India. And my dream is to I mean, with these knee joints, Ukraine is also already self-sufficient in making these components, and because apart from us, there is no other factory who's making that in Ukraine. And in India too, there's no other factory who's making these. So we will be the first and only prosthetic manufacturing facility in India. And my dream is to provide also to all the Indians who are poor, who cannot afford to live a life of dignity, to wear good processes, come out from their houses and make their families happier.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. You may click the stop share button so you get back to the screen.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for this very illuminating study, and you have devoted part of your life to the service, and it is business, but it is so much a human-oriented business, so it's very, very excellent. I would like to see if our next speaker, Mr. Kuldeep, is he here? Because if he is here, we will be able to speak to him. I think for him, it is, the issue of the electricity is a bad issue, because, I still have 1 hour. My electricity will also go. But before that, before I give open the floor for questioning, we will wait for Kuldeep Kumar. If he arrives, we will give him the word. I would like to say we have Mr. Vadim Halaychuk, a member of the Ukrainian parliament, with us. And if you would like to say a few words about the diaspora, how do you see the role of Indian diaspora, and a few words of, if you would like to say a few words, it will be very, very nice. Yes, Mr. Vadim Halaychuk, if you are, do you hear me? So you may have the floor and say a few words of greetings. Maybe there is something wrong with his connection. So I think we will move on to questions, but I would also ask, then we have Mr. Volodymyr Pritula, the Second Secretary of the Ukrainian Embassy in Delhi. So if Mr. Volodymyr, would you like to say a few words, and then we open the floor for questions, please. Yes, Mr. Volodymyr Pritula, do you hear me, by the way? I'm not sure if everybody is able to hear me.
Hello, hi, namaste. I'm so sorry. I'm a bit out, so I can't switch on my camera because the connection is not that good.
All
I
right,
hope everyone
all right.
hears me well.
Yes, please,
namaste.
please.
Thank you so much for inviting Dr. Ghosh. It was a very interesting discussion. Thank you so much, all the participants, for all the important work you do for Ukraine, especially taking into consideration the consequences of Russian aggression. Warm regards to everyone, and we wish you, Dr. Mridula, to continue this kind of conversations. It is very important to listen to the stories like this and contributions like this to the Ukrainian statehood and happiness of Ukrainians finally.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Then let us have the floor to questions. Of course, if Mr. Vadim Halaichuk is able to, I am audible. Okay, thank you. So I would open the floor to questions to the three of our speakers who had presented themselves today. So questions from the floor, please. Dr. Yogesh Srivastava, if you have questions, anyone having question, please. This is your chance to ask whatever you want from these three great people who have made so much contribution.
Thank you, Mridula ji, thank you very much. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much for giving us the opportunity. In fact, I, at the outset, would like to extend my gratitude to each one of the speakers, those who have the great success stories, and that cannot be shared in 5 minutes. I can understand, because
Absolutely.
each and every person is basically an encyclopedia in himself or herself, who are there, from the time when they, it was a different set of country altogether, and different set of policies, etc. Well, I am basically, started my career with Times of India.
Yeah, would you mind asking the questions to the speakers,
yes,
please?
my question is that what are the present situation at this point in time? In fact, each and everybody, those who are there in this forum, they know it very well. And what kind of, pressure group, I'm using the word pressure group because it's a journalistic language, so I'm using that. We are basically trying to create, not only with the Indian government here at Delhi, but at the same time, do we have some sort of action plans so that we can convince our government over here that how this war is going to be stopped? We have a number of relatives, friends, brothers over there. So what are the action plans in this? This is my question. Anybody who is having much experience, he or she would be able to ask. Thank you very much, Mridula ji, for giving me the opportunity.
Yeah, no. Thank you for asking this good question. But we can spend hours discussing what is happening. But in short, I will just respond to what you have said, is that the situation is a war. The war means anytime any attack can happen. Anytime, believe me, 24 hours, 7 days a week. There is no schedule for attacks. Nobody will tell you, I am attacking, and then they will attack. Another thing is that, the electricity shortages, which is also changing our total life schedule, because we are not able to, conduct our usual businesses, except, the critical infrastructures like hospitals, like, very serious places. Especially the first is hospitals and critical infrastructure like the metro or some other buildings. Everyone is having power cuts. It doesn't matter if you live in a high rise or if you have a small little hut. It doesn't matter. Everyone is having power cuts, and this is jeopardizing. Russia's tactics of attacking civil infrastructure, critical civil infrastructure, is really making a problem. But however, the resilience of Ukrainians is really, really great. And of course, it is unparalleled. I don't think the world is able to understand. And one of the things that I think that you need to do back in India is to lobby, is to tell about this to people that, from your part. And I think if my colleagues, the speakers, would like to also answer, please take your floor and answer the question.
Mridula ji, I will add few words.
Yeah, sure.
Is it okay?
Yeah, sure, please.
Yeah, just to reply the answer, actually, we are living in Ukraine. It's, I think, tough time when war is on the peak, when there is no electricity, and we still are trying to survive, and we still want this country to live, stay for their rights. Everybody knows very well that Ukraine didn't start this war. This war has been started by Putin. And Ukraine is not attacking on the territories of Russia. This is Putin who is killing civilians, not only army. Putin is attacking civilians. Just 10 days back, when our respected Prime Minister Modi ji was in Moscow and he was shaking hands with this terrorist, the most wanted terrorist of this world. And that day, the Russia, they sent 36 missiles to Kyiv only, and out of them, 38. Out of them, 8 landed to Kyiv. And according to my opinion, this was the most terrible attack for the last 2.5 years. And I'll tell you, I just want to share my experience. I was crying for the first time that day because Child Hospital, Republic biggest child hospital, got a direct missile on the transpathology center, okay, dialysis center. This is the most horrible thing which can happen on this planet when you are killing kids, patients who are on the operation theater, you are killing doctors. What is this? Is this a war? This is not a war. This is a terrorism, madam. This is a terrorism. And nobody can stop this bloody Putin. I hope we have got a fantastic Prime Minister, Modi ji. He should go in detail for all these facts. This is not the time to shake hands with Putin. This is the time to give him the instructions, to guide him how to stop this war. Murli, I'm very much emotional and I'm sorry for my emotion, but this is coming from my heart. I am not agree what is happening by India's side. They are supporting this terrorist country. They are shaking hands with Putin. This is not the way. Just saying few words, this is not the time, this is not the era of war. Okay, that is good. But what India is doing to stop this war, to go for any compromise, to stop killing civilians, to stop killing doctors, to stop killing kids. This is what we want from Ukraine. This is cry, these are tears from Ukraine. How India is one of the biggest country, 5th largest economy. Modi ji is our most favorite prime minister in the world. And I am sure with the help of Modi ji, our dearest Modi ji, he can help Ukraine to stop this war. Sorry, sorry for my emotions. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll just 10 seconds, Mridula ji, if I can allow just 10 seconds. One of the gentlemen, Mr. Parashar, has given us a very good idea. I was basically saying the same thing. Are we creating a pressure group? Are we doing some signature campaign? We know each and everything. Mr. Parashar has sent this message on the board that yes, we are looking for some electricity. We are looking for some this. I think this is the time when we know each and everything. While we sitting in Delhi cannot understand your horror, I am using the word, and it is such a great this thing. But we must make a charter. We must do on a regular basis. We must make a campaign. We must try and do a signature campaign to the government and give it to the media. Seek some support. This is what my thing is. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. I would like to say that
Thank you.
there is also this need for us to slowly do things, things are moving. As you know, in diplomacy, there is something, and, of course, the pictures, the optics of the meeting in Moscow was not very nice for us. But at the same time, we are not having the power to change things. What we can do is to say, and I believe certain things might start rolling, because yesterday, Dmytro Kuleba, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, and Subramaniam Jaishankar from our side, they had a word with each other. And also there was a telephone call the day before between Andriy Yermak, the Chief of Staff of the President, and Mr. Ajit Doval, the National Security Advisor. So, there is something that is going on. That is, of course, the back channel things going on, but the optics and the way the propaganda goes, definitely a lot should be done to favor and to support Ukraine. And I do believe that will happen with the help of people like you. That is what the people-to-people contact is for. And that is why we start these dialogues and we start these kinds of Zoom online stuff, so that we can build the bridge without visiting each other, which is always costly to travel. And it's logistically very difficult to travel nowadays. Okay, so any one of the colleagues want to take up the question, but I would also say there was a question from our Times of India friend, journalist Mridula Ghosh, is to any of the speakers. How would you want the Indian people or Indian government to help Ukraine in this time of need? Partly it has been addressed, but Mr. Nagender Parashar gave him a written reply, and also small-scale distributed power generation equipment. It could be of great help. And I think, yes, more of development aid may be given by India. And of course, this should also be on the agenda of the Ukrainian government to support. Please, colleagues, if you would like to make any more comments or any other question. I think I have another question. Please, I will read it out. That is from our veteran, not veteran, but our she's a veteran because she studied in Kyiv. She's now based in the United States. How would the participants respond to Indians who keep insisting that Indians should come back home? Presumably, they are saying it out of concern and care, but possibly they don't understand the complexities of life and home and career and family still apply, war or nowhere, no war. I would myself reply to you, Malati, that, you are such a sweet and good friend. You know that in life, it always doesn't matter money, position, and, you cannot just leave a soil you love. You just cannot leave people who are your friends for so many years. United States did not have a war on its territory for ages. But if it so happens, you would not be able to leave United States either. And the call for people to just come back to India is that because they don't understand our ties with Ukraine. That is the lack of understanding. I would say that comes from there. The lack of understanding us, the lack of understanding our commitment. I would say this, maybe friends, you want to add something, please, then go ahead and, take the floor, please. Yeah, please. Maybe Mr. Ram.
Can I add something? Actually, what Russia is doing right now is that it is hitting on a place that describes civilization, and in our life it's electricity. So when we talk about the atomic electricity generation, then it's like this. It's smooth, it cannot go higher, cannot go lower. But there's a generation of electricity on demand, that's gas power stations and coal power stations. So it has taken out most of them. And that's why the people are facing a lot of hardships. And if people are not able to live in a city, what will they do? So that's what the enemy is counting on. Here, India is such a big country, 1.5 billion people, very big, enormous country. It has very big industry, and we have a lot of equipment. If we have, and I think we have a lot of equipment, so I think that would be a very timely help if some equipment can be sent immediately. If the government of Ukraine, the embassy of Ukraine knows about what's required, so they can take up the matter, and we can also voice our concerns as a diaspora. Thank you.
Thank you for the answer.
Yeah, Mridula ji,
Yes, please.
my question to the representatives of the Indian press here, there in the beginning of the war, we met a lot of journalist friends here, you as well, Mridula ji. But after that time, after 2022, had there been any visits of our Indian reporters, journalists to this country? In case they know about it, can they highlight this?
Oh, the number has come down. Yeah, maybe Mr. Mridula Ghosh, you will be able to address, although I don't know, maybe you can, please.
Yeah, so
thank you so much, Dr. Ghosh. Me?
Yeah.
Am I
yeah,
audible?
we hear you. Yeah, you are, please.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, the number, as Dr. Ghosh said, the number has come down. Although in April this year, there were a couple of, they weren't journalists, but they were invited by PEN Ukraine to visit, and you know, of late, I don't think too many representatives of the Indian press have been to Ukraine. Although last year, you know, the someone from the Week, photojournalist from the Week was in Ukraine, and he did extensive coverage of the war. He went to the front lines, and it was a fantastic edition that Week produced. But yeah, off late there hasn't been much representation from the Indian media to visit Ukraine.
Yeah, but that is the point. You know, that is the point, that if Indian media does not send its representatives, how will the Indian people learn about it? And people who have been coming, like in April, they were not journalists and they didn't produce any materials after they went back. So they have perceptions perhaps, but that was not recorded. And as a journalist, we'll look at things, you know. So I understand the risks, but, you know, there are people visiting Russia though, but they're not visiting Ukraine. And this is a problem that, you know, editorials must be discussing among themselves, that they are using the international agencies, maybe reportings, but otherwise the reporting has been totally left, like, you know, without care, honestly, direct field reporting.
Yeah, so to the question asked here in the chat today, that what can be done from Indian side in order to help Ukraine. So besides the suggestion given by Nagender, I would like to suggest that I, as an entrepreneur, ready to take care of the state transportation of a team of prominent journalists from India. May it be the visit by them, not on the invitation of Ukrainian side. May it be the visit organized by on the request of Indian diaspora, our Indian people living in Ukraine. We will take care of all journalists and let them understand Ukraine, its problem, and what is happening in Ukraine in more depth. Recently, when the rocket firing was done on Children's Hospital, 4 of our Indian students studying here, they came forward to help that day, and it was so nice of them. So they, while coming here, they can talk to Indians staying here. They can talk to students, those who help to Children's Hospital, and that will be great. I consider that besides so many other things, like India has given so many medicines so far during these 2.5 years, but there has to be some more understanding of India of this problem. What can be done in more, because Modi ji is also not a magic maker, and he cannot just stop the war. He himself and his team, elites of India, need to understand this problem more, and we, diaspora, can be one of that instrument to make them understand more. Even the suggestion of signatory campaign, all that can also be done in addition to the journalist visit to this country. This is my suggestion. So many other things can be done, but this is one of my suggestions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Your
As you
voice
know,
is not there.
Yeah, thank you. As you know, the idea of Subramaniam Jaishankar visiting Kyiv was on the air. I don't know how much it is it is matured or not. But certainly, if our Prime Minister visited Ukraine on his way to Austria, or as he visited Moscow, the equal attention should be paid to Ukraine, then it would be absolutely a different message. I believe at least that would have sent a different signal and not interpreted in the way that, India is totally a pro-Russian country, which is something which is not true. Of course, the media in India should be held responsible partly for this, because most of the media, I don't mean that, but most of the media, they tendenciously produce more, tilted towards Russia materials. They give more preference to those materials than to, I would say, things from the ground. It's not pro-Ukrainian. We are not pro-Ukrainian. We are telling the truth, and it has to be, heard. So we are not heard. I mean, I write a lot, I know, and from my experience, I see that, it is difficult to get published in the proper way, in the way I would like to be heard. Yeah. So that problem is there. And of course, the group of journalists coming and, visiting, they might do, but I believe that a long-term correspondence should be here based. Like you have the CNN, you have the world-renowned media. Indian media, they have the resources. If they want to really have a truth about this war, they should have correspondence, at least 2 or 3 here, because it is impossible just to invite some guests and for 5 days and they go back. It doesn't make a big difference. Yeah. So that's my personal perception. Okay, so let's move on. I would see if we have questions from Mr. Ami Channa, one of our great friends. Please do have your say. Please switch on your microphone and come on, have your say. Please.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Nagender ji, I know personally, and very good to see you again. One thing is what I wanted to point out. You have all spoken about politics and everything, all the need to do. But the basic thing is, if we can generate some business between India and Ukraine, business promotes basically one people-to-people relation. So then through business, we can have the people come and visit Ukraine. Because if there is business, they will come. So my suggestion would be to also focus on the commercial aspect of the relation. And for that, I can propose if Mr. Dange would like to, or Mr. Parashar would like to have some association with the chamber, then we can have, because India needs food security. And Mr. Dange can help export food products from Ukraine. So possibly these are the ways we can generate more people-to-people contact. I'm sure you must be already be supplying to Indians market, and that is one of the way. So that is what I want to say.
Mm-hmm. Well, can I answer?
Yeah, sure, please.
Yeah, I wanted to say is that जब पैस लगी है तो कुआं खोदने के लिए काफी समय लग जाएगा. There had been a business between.
Let's translate into English.
Yeah. So when you are thirsty, it is too late to dig a well. There, the business was existing, it is still existing, and I would like to inform you, Mr. Channa, that Ukraine had positive trade turnover reference to India for so many years. After the war has started, now it is negated. And we are all Indian business representatives here, even the pharmaceutical business companies, giants of India. They have still kept their presence. They don't want to lose this market. For sure, we must enhance business between our countries. But today, when the rockets are falling in, today, when the hospitals are getting targeted, civilians are getting targeted, when today 2.5 years this war is going on, so we need to do something, some surgery operation where Indian diaspora can be a platform where Modi ji goes to Moscow and requests for their citizens not to be included in the Russian army, or when there is a some of our citizens get stuck in any other country, India request or India carried out a big Ganga operation to take students from this country when the war started. So here we are, Indian citizens doing business for so many years, and to help the trade turnover between these two countries. So we must be listened. We would like the group of reporters to come and evaluate the exact correct situation and limelight it to the elites of India. So many other measures can be done, including the enhancement of business, but business happens when there is a peace. When the peace will be there, the business naturally will happen. It will not have to be, it will not needed any suppressing states. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Is there anyone who would like to speak or reflect or ask questions, please? I see Mr. Pranab Singha is there. I see Mr. Arnav is there, and I have already requested Mr. Vadim Halaichuk to speak. Are you there, please, Mr. Vadim? And I also see Mr. Manish. Well, I can just say anyone willing to say or comment, please. Mr. Arnav, do you want to say anything?
Namaste,
yeah,
everyone.
just a short remark or question if you have, please.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Mridula, for your wonderful initiative, first of all, and thanks a lot to all of my dear brothers and sisters who have joined this program. I would request and rather, ask a question that can we form a kind of initiative group who can regularly, on every weekly basis at least, join together online or offline, just to take this message, take this action plan to bring to Indian government directly or through the media or whatever it can be, to act regular basis in a very forceful way, because 8 billion people in the world cannot stop madness of a country, and we are all suffering. The whole world is suffering for that. So there is a big requirement to enlighten the real situation in this country, where I have been staying for 36 years. We have been completely the direct we are the people who see the things in our own eyes, and we can reflect it in the right way. So this will open up the eyes of the Indians in India, and also the government of India, to think of it, how in diplomacy also there must be humanity. So this part cannot be forgotten, and this can be taken a serious step to bring the bridge between humanity among the humans of the world, where we can play a big role. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for this. And as I mentioned in the beginning of the presentation, that we will be having a series, and I would encourage each one of you. We might have it on Saturday, the same time, or on Sunday, because on business days, people are busy with their work. So we would set up a time, and just for maximum 2 hours, 1.5 hours, not more, we will devote our time. I will make everything in my strength and ability possible to get all of you together, provided you also provide interest and you show interest, and we get this project rolling, that we meet every week. I thought of organizing it by sectors, for example, the pharma sector, or even, any sector, but all of us come together and we hear each other just for 1 hour, maybe. We make it more streamlined, we listen to each other, and we propose. And after hearing your discussions, and I will look through the chat, and also what I will be doing is making a summary of the discussion, a written summary, and perhaps we will be able to from there we will be able to move on. Another my project will deal with is a different idea, that is, we are not, let's say, I don't want to use the word exploit, I don't like the word, we are not tapping on the resources of the Indian diaspora here. What we look at is the number, When you look at the website of the Indian Embassy, you will say there is a small group of Indian businesses, which is the diaspora and some students. Well, there are professionals among the groups, that is not mentioned. And I'm really thinking that the meaningfulness of our presence here, how to make that heard, and that is not tapped. I would like either the Ukrainian government take it up or the Indians, doesn't matter, because we are in the situation of a go-between. We are not inside India nor here. So it is, again, we should not hope only for the government. We should get together and do something on our own. You all have done these entrepreneurs. What you have done in your life is you do not wait for the government to do things for you. You do it yourself. So I think a lot will depend on us to start doing things, So it will be an important step ahead. And I think if Mr. Vadim, your internet is okay, can you speak, or you still have not so good internet? So if you don't, it's unfortunate, but next time you can't hear anyone. So it's a pity, it's a pity now. So because you see, of the electricity now, the remote connections is also becoming problematic. So it's hitting hard. It is hitting hard. So let's hope that this thing we will continue despite problems, as you have always come together in such times. I respect each and every one of you who devoted your time to come and be with us, and listen to us, We are not hundreds in numbers, but I think the time you have given is most precious, because human beings, what is most precious in our life is time. When we give time to each other, we give the maximum. That's the respect, and I really, really am grateful for that to all of you who have managed to come and listen. And maybe next time when we meet, it will be a series of discussions. So the next time when we meet, we will be discussing other topics, but related to the war, but very serious topics. And so please, you are most welcome, and I have your email addresses. I have most of your contacts. But if anyone would like to, like as Mr. Srivastava did, I think you may put your email address here, whoever didn't give it to us. So we connect, and the next time we do it, we call everyone and we have another session. If you have that thought, if this proposal is acceptable, let's say.
Can I say, Mridula ji? I mean,
Yeah.
that was a fantastic idea that you brought everyone together, and that's an idea that great things could be built upon it. Because when we meet, we talk about it, then someone takes interest and someone comes to know about that, and people join. And I hope that that we can do at least something to improve the relations and enhance the cooperation between our countries. That's what we would all love to do. Thank you once again.
Well, I can see Mr. Vadim Halaichuk, our dear member of the Parliament of Ukraine. Can you hear us? Can you say a few words?
Yes, I can hear you well.
Yeah, please, such a
nice...
Oh,
you can hear me too. Wonderful.
Oh, yes, please, have your word, please.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Mridula, thank you very much for organizing this. This is, unfortunately, I have not been able to hear
you will have the recording. You will have the recording. I'm recording everything. So
excellent. Yeah, my internet is unstable because of the electricity shortages, but all or most of those present here know about these problems and issues, and this is something that brings us closer together. But even what I did here, has impressed me a lot in terms of what people are doing, or have been doing for decades living here, and what they feel about living in Ukraine. And I am very hopeful that you, dear friends, I want to say, some of you I have met, I remember, at different occasions, and definitely hope to meet more, because I'm sure you are the best to deliver the message about what Ukraine is literally all about, and what awaits people here, because there are a lot of misconceptions.
Yes.
But you live the life of a Ukrainian here, especially those of you who have been here for 30 years or so, you know very well what Ukraine was 30 years ago and what it is now, and can imagine the prospects of the country when we will finally win this war, when we will finally establish the peace, when we will finally fully join the European family, in the European Union, and be the country that we all dream of. The part of Europe, free, prosperous, but at the same time, the country which keeps its Ukrainian identity, which keeps the vibrant life, the initiative that Ukrainians have been so famous for, and that you, dear friends, have become the part of. We have a lot of work ahead of us, but we know what we fighting for, what we striving for. I had a happy occasion to visit India back in 2023, fairly recently, and to meet with different people from government, from business circles, expert circles, and what we have discovered that there's a lot of interest. People know about Ukraine. Ukraine has been friends with India, and Indians do know about our capabilities. However, Indians living in India have little understanding of the realities on the ground now and the reasons for Russian-Ukraine war. Therefore, this is also something that we hope you will be helpful with, in terms of trying to explain that this is not about us Ukrainians being a threat to Russia, as Russians are trying to portray. It's a very different problem, and the problem is Russia itself. And the issue at hand is to get Russia to understand that people around the world understand that they are the problem. They need to change, and no way of achieving any sustainable peace in Ukraine without resolving the problem of imperialistic and aggressive Russia changing itself, and not Ukraine. So I'm happy I have finally joined this group, Mridula. I wish you have you tell me about this earlier, because, as I said, it's very important that first we exchange opinions. We know what people feel, what Indians living in Ukraine feel and experience, and what sort of issues they believe need to be addressed, including by the government, including by people like you and me, Mridula, who do have different opportunities to bring people together and then resolve issues which arise, but also to increase that interest that
Yes.
people in India already have to come to Ukraine, to learn more about Ukraine, to invest in Ukraine. The businesses that I mentioned that I met in India were very much interested when they learned that we are on the path of becoming we already a candidate country for the European Union, and we are on the path of becoming a full-fledged member of the EU at some point in time. But we already part of the EU single market. Ukraine has tariff-free trade regime with the European Union. So you already investing, if you decided to come to Ukraine and then invest in Ukraine, you'd be investing in the country, which is trading tariff-free, excise-free with the European Union, which, from what I know, means a lot for any serious investor. So I'll happily stay on with this group, exchange of opinions, learn more about what's going on. I was very impressed with what Doctor was saying about his experiences in Ukraine, his long time experience living and working in Ukraine, and the differences between Ukraine medical services and European medical services, which, you know, on the surface you would think that it's a lot better, it's a much more desired services, but in the reality, Ukraine has a lot to offer of the same, if not higher quality services, but at a much lesser price, and by people who care a lot more. That's the impression that I'm getting about their patients, about their work, their close ones. So we have this very special country that we need to defend, that we need to improve, that we need to make the place where not just us and our children would want to live, but people from all over the world would come and appreciate and would help us to make this country even more beautiful. So, Mridula, again, thank you for inviting me. I'll happily stay on with this group.
Thank you for your generous and kind statements, and that your visits and your further on. And we would also request you to say this, you know, more and more, to be that connecting link with the Ukrainian policymakers, you know, that there is a diaspora which is qualitative. Maybe we are not large in quantity, because sometimes we measure by quantity, you know, by numbers, but we are less in number. But, you know, we would like you to also see the capacity of each person. They have done something, you know, so that matters. And the future, you know, would you like to have students here? Would you like to have professionals here? These are the issues that Indians government and Indians will be looking forward to. I mean, we have to be qualitatively different from what Russia has been doing, is to take poor people from India and send them to the front to die. You know, that is a bad example, for which even Prime Minister had to go to request their return. You know, so this is something Ukraine is not engaging in. So there's a quality difference in the country. So, you know, if you also be that person who will be a kind of a link between the diaspora of India with the Ukrainian policymakers, especially the legislators, that will be very great. And we are honored if you are with us in this group. Thank you.
If I can comment quickly on that.
Yes.
Absolutely, I'm prepared to do that. And since we touched upon the subject, the demographical situation in Ukraine requires very serious attention of the government, and we are discussing different ways of how this policy, the demographic policy, needs to be changed and made attractive for people from all around the world, people who have the capacity to improve the country. And certainly the examples that I've just seen and heard of Indians, very successful Indians in the country, is a good example of what Indians are about. And quite frankly, even those cases that we had where Indians were coming to Ukraine, basically some of them, most of them coming for a study, but even those who have come to use Ukraine as sort of your passing ground to move on to EU and further, even those people have paid a lot of money to come here, had the education, had the skills. Those are the desirable people. Those are not the kind of people that you know, let's be frank here. There's certain strata in the immigration that you may not be so happy with. But in the example with Indians who even those who have only wanted to use Ukraine as sort of the passing ground to the EU, they had the financial capacities which make them a fairly attractive target for a demographic policy. And Mridula and others, we have been discussing this, and we have been joking that given the population of India and given the demographic tendencies, let's put it that way, India is certainly in a position to improve Ukrainian demographics very quickly if we find the proper mechanisms and instruments to do that. So yes, we are serious about discussing this issue, and certainly the input from Indians living here would be important and useful.
One thing I would like to point out, I have already have requirement for 200 people from Lviv, 60 people from Kyiv, and 60 or 70 people from Odessa. But there are no, I've been trying a lot, but people are so scared in India because they don't know the actuality of war. So they are scared that we will go there and there will be a bomb coming down. I was even told them, I sent them videos that I've been there. There's nothing. Don't worry. Lviv is the safest city in Ukraine. But the fear is more than enough because the media is not creating a situation to clear that fear.
I
Very
would
much
say
agree.
to this, there is that, right now the immigration of people who have never lived here is risky. You understand why? Because the war is going on. And it is a very big risk the governments will not be taking, and even the individuals who will be held responsible, because there should be some companies, some agency who should be responsible for them, which is again a very difficult thing. So I think when the war stops, or at least goes to a stage of negotiation, and there is a kind of going towards the victory, these issues can be raised. But right now, the migration issue for new people, new entries, is a bit problematic from the human rights point of view, from the economic point of view, and from the security point of view. We are living because we are very confident, because we know the language, we have our bases, we are living like Ukrainians, only with a different passport and name. But for new people coming in, I'm not sure about that. I don't know, maybe you don't agree with me.
Mridula ji, Israel is under war, and 10,000 Indian laborers have been already approved to go to Israel. So
Israel is a very different case. Israel doesn't have an enemy as powerful as Russia. You please do not compare Israel with Ukraine.
But it is constantly a war.
But Israel's attacks on Israel are minimal compared to the weapons used against us. The supersonic weapons. To be honest, I would like you to look at it very carefully from all sides and plan a strategy for the mid-term and long-term. Yes, then you will have a lot of opportunities. That I'm sure.
I'm doing that. All the people they are saying we will go as soon as the war stops.
So
I'm not forcing
absolutely.
them.
That should be the way you can handle that better, because it will be finally a headache for you ultimately.
Yeah,
as an
I understand. And
it will be a big risk.
Okay. And we have already MOUs with 2 city councils. They want us to have Indian businessmen come and set up solar plants in their region so they are independent of the local grid.
So let them, then come, business is different, but I'm telling about people coming to work who have never been here. It is risky, like workers and others. No, I would not advise right now, except for what? Except for the Red Cross workers or the Caritas workers, the humanitarian professionals, they can come. Like they who are going to the crisis regions, those who are professionally able to tackle war, but not others, Yeah.
No, actually, this whole main requirement was from Lviv.
Lviv is also under attack constantly. Lviv is very much attacked. It is not safe anywhere in Ukraine because infrastructures are being targeted, and Lviv will be like, they are afraid of getting the Western weapons. So that's the route, and Lviv is constantly under attack. Unfortunately, I'm telling you the reality.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Can I say a few words?
Yeah.
Please. So sensitive issue that if something happens to even one person, then I think that everything would be against us, right?
Yeah.
And
Campaign
so that
would be against
very
us.
negative publicity, and someone has to take responsibility for each person, for their safety, because people are coming in. So we have to be very careful with that approach of bringing people and providing safety to them.
No, these are big companies of Ukraine which are going to employ people. So they take care of the food.
Okay, so they understand that what they are doing.
Yeah, they have big companies. All of them are big companies.
Yeah, if companies are for the purpose of business involving want to invite, there should not be any problem. They must undergo certain formalities, and people can come. So many students came back, taking their responsibility on their own, though the government of India warned them after Ganga operation about staying in Ukraine, but they took the information from Ukraine, from friends, Ukrainian friends, their institutions, what is the situation, and many students returned back. They are studying in 2023 and this year as well.
Yes, the students' case is a little bit different. They have a atmosphere, and that's a different community. That's not the that's not people coming in, new people without language, without any introduction. So for them to come and get quickly at work, even if the employer guarantees, the employer cannot guarantee that a missile will not attack.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So no employer can guarantee, and any death happens. As Mr. Nagender said, that it will be a anti-campaign totally. Then it will be against us, and we will have no investment. But you see people are going and dying there. It will be blown up to great proportions. So I don't think we would need it right now in mass scale. 1 or 2 professionals, one group can come, but not in mass numbers. Okay, so dear friends, I think we should start if no one else is having any comment, because within 9 or 10 minutes, I will have to switch off for the electricity thing. I would love to talk more.
I will take a minute, Mridula ji. I will show very small videos which have pain that we talked about. Doctor talked about Ahmadi, right? So I'll show a couple of videos of our patient, of our empathy, and just please have a look.
Yeah, just quickly, because I have only 8 minutes.
I'll be very quick with that. Oh, it was something. I came back to Ukraine on 22nd February 2022, 2 days before the war started. So I was coming in the flight
in an empty plane.
Yeah. Now
that's a nice photo. That's a nice photo. Yeah.
Yes, there's an empty plane.
Yeah.
So this is
please
the
this
guy
one
on
please
our
show.
on our prosthetic foot, and he's a soldier, special forces. So he's very happy we made that foot here. Now I'll show you the next video.
Yeah. Yes, and he is here. This is the guy with the jacket. Yeah, he's the same man. Yeah. The whole world saw this video. The whole world saw this video. Yeah. So thank you so much,
Artyom, his name is,
for showing it.
His name is Artyom. He's the jiu-jitsu champion of Ukraine.
Yes, he's the jiu-jitsu champion. Yeah.
Great. Yeah. Thank you, Nagin.
Thank you.
So yes, I'm really thankful, and I don't know how to express my thanks, but I do believe this is just the start. Please take up different topics, come up with ideas. I'm always ready to be there to gather all of you and to start the discussion. Maybe you can take it up yourself. So please, I look forward to great proposals from you. And I would also ask Ms. Malati to think that if maybe our diaspora, our friends who studied in Kyiv, and they are now in the United States, would also like to join us. There is no boundary for territorial boundary as far as diaspora is concerned. So please, we are open to all proposals. So right now then, yeah. So
Thanks
right
to you,
now,
Mridula ji, as well.
no,
Yeah.
it's okay.
Thank you very
From
much.
all of us. From
It's
all
our
of us.
work.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's a joint
Having
project
started
with the India Club, so we are doing it together. So I thank you also. Let's thank each other, and let's thank the participants who have come,
Thank
given
you,
their
Thank
time.
you.
Mr. Vadim
Thank
Halachuk.
you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks
So
to everybody.
for the
Yeah.
next time, we then get together again. Thank you, and let's have a safe and problem-free sky, as we say, and let's have peaceful nights and have a nice
And
time.
with some electricity,
Yes,
electricity.
have more electricity. Thank you,
Thank you.
doctor.
Mridula ji,
Thank you.
Thank you,
thanks a
friends.
lot
Thank you,
for your
thank you.
initiative.
Ukraine.
It's a fantastic
And you
initiative.
have
Slava.
Thanks a
Aram
lot,
Slava.
ma'am. We wish you all the
Geroyam
best,
Slava.
Thank you very
and
much.
let's take it further. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
your
you.
efforts to continue, Mridula ji. Yes.
Thank
For
you.
sure.
Thank
Good
you.
luck.
Thank you. Thank you
Good
for
weekend.
inviting us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Namaste.
Take care.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Namaste.
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 Namaste.